recent developments in the Philippines-Japan relations in different areas, such as the political, economic, and business?
Well, we continue to be very close. In fact, it's a relationship that is multifaceted, no? And it has many areas: political, economic, you could say cultural also, or personal contacts, no? Kasi we have many Filipinos residing in Japan. I think it's worth noting that it's the 60th anniversary of diplomatic relations between the Philippines and Japan. And Japan is also a strategic partner for the Philippines. And these are important things to note. For the recent administration, for example, we know that Japan is very keen to continue with the relationship that it has had with the Philippines for a long number of years. In the economic area, for example, Japan continues to be the top trading partner of the Philippines. For ODA, again, one of the top for the Philippines. In fact, for the portfolio of the Philippines with regards to development assistance, it constitutes about a third of the entire ODA portfolio. Tourism. Tourism is booming. You know, Japanese travelers constitute the fourth largest group of visitor arrivals to the Philippines. And I think everyone is aware that Japan is very popular for the Filipinos. So right now, I understand that for the first quarter, I think, in fact, the first half of the year, we already have more than 400,000 Filipinos coming to Japan. That's a very big group. On the political level, we have seen quite an interest in high-level visits. The high-level visits constitute the coming of Foreign Minister Kishida to the Philippines. And what I want to note here is that when he came and called on the President, his visit to the Philippines was in fact the first visit that he has ever made outside of Japan after his reassignment as Foreign Minister. So this is a very big signal of the importance that the Philippines has for Japan. Also, of course, there is a very cordial relationship between the President and Prime Minister Abe. As you're aware, the reason for the visit of the President is because Prime Minister Abe reiterated an invitation that he has been extending to the President to come to Japan. And this invitation was in fact reiterated and accepted in the sidelines of the ASEAN Summit in Laos.
Okay, how about in workforce naman?
Workforce. We do have Filipinos who come here. They constitute mostly engineers and technical interns in the IT sector. We, of course, have the JIPEPA, which allows the entry of nurses and caregivers into Japan. So they number, I think, since their arrivals, we have about mga 1,600. So there's a growing professional community in Japan, and we're very happy to cultivate this. We are looking into the possible entry now of household workers into Japan because Japan has opened up in this particular area for specific zones in their country.
Okay. President Duterte will hold a working visit in Japan. Can you give us what will be the highlight of the visit?
The highlight of the visit, there's a lot of interest in in defense cooperation. Ano? So what we're really anticipating right now and what we're very excited about is the possibility that there might be a lease of TC-30s by Japan to the Philippines. Other areas we are looking at, of course, is the possibility of the harvest loan coming into fruition. This is important because the focus will be on Mindanao. There is a lot of interest, I think, between the Philippines and Japan to try to extend some kind of assistance that goes beyond Metro Manila, but goes all over the region, in Cebu, for example, and in Mindanao, even in Davao.
Okay. What for you, ma'am, is the significance of President Duterte's participation at the Economic Forum organized by JICA?
Well, the Economic Forum is important because for the first time, our Japanese business partners will have their first look at the President. So it's an important visit in that regard. He has generated a lot of interest here in Japan, and as you are aware, there is a lot of investment now by the Japanese in the Philippines. So what they want to see is they want to know that, that the 10-point agenda of the president can be further expounded and explained, possibly in business terms. This is an important meeting, if only because he will be meeting the large companies that have invested in the Philippines. In fact, on the occasion of the Economic Forum, there will be the signing of certain letters of intent by different businesses. We understand that there might be about 8 businesses that will be signing LOIs and MOUs. And this is intended to generate investment into the Philippines. So we have big companies, both in the manufacturing and the investment sector, in the agricultural sector, I'm sorry.
Okay. Ma'am, how about the second phase of the MSCIP project?
The
We're now on
MSC.
the second phase, di ba?
Oo, second phase na po tayo. We're actually awaiting now the delivery of the second rapid response vessel. No? The first one, which is the Tubata, has already arrived in the Philippines. So the second one is due is already going to be named, in fact. So we hope for delivery at the end of this year.
Okay. In the recent calamities and disasters that came across our country, how did the Japanese people support us? What kind of aid and assistance did their government give?
You know, the Japanese have been very supportive. When Yolanda happened to us, I think it was one of the largest supporters of the Philippines during the time of crisis and need. As you're probably aware, there was a lot of news about how the Japanese relief team, mostly medical in nature, how they came to Japan, to the Philippines to assist us. And the assistance has been extensive. Now, in addition to this kind of assistance, they have continued on for the relief victims and also. In total, I think they have extended to us about, I believe, around 53 million US dollars worth of aid, whether it is relief goods or grants or technical assistance. The latest assistance they have extended us in that regard is, in fact, in terms of livelihood. So, tumutulong po sila sa pagbigay ng mga maliliit na mga seeds po to plant dun sa Leyte. So it's simple, but it's very effective and of course highly appreciated by the Philippine government and our citizens.
Okay, kumusta naman po yung mga Filipino na nandito sa Japan? Can you give us the profile of the Filipinos working and living here?
Working and living here. Filipinos in Japan actually constitute the 3rd largest group of foreign nationals in this country. That's pretty big. And most of them are in fact married to Japanese nationals. So we have a community here that is, you could describe very friendly, very vibrant, very Filipino. These are Filipinos who have married Japanese nationals but have opted to keep their Philippine citizenship. They have 2nd-generation kids who are both Filipino and Japanese, who we hope will continue to do well in this country that they have adopted. Most of the Filipinas that we have here, well, what are their concerns, no? Syempre, most of their concerns really are related to most of their concerns are really related to their home lives and trying to eke out a living here. So, from the end of the embassy, what we try to do is to try to make it possible for them to be able to go on, to have good, decent lives in Japan. How does one describe the Filipino community here? Well, I think in terms of President Duterte, they love him. They love him. He actually garnered a very high rating when he won the elections here. Very, very high. And a lot of Filipinos have in fact been asking me personally kung kailan na siya dadating, matagal na siyang inaantay. So this visit is something that excites them tremendously. So they so look forward to seeing him here. Mr. President, we are all very excited to have you here in Japan. The Filipino peoples who reside here, our Filipino community, has long awaited your arrival. The Japanese government and the Japanese people are very curious, and they want to find out straight from you what it is that you would like to achieve with regard to Philippine-Japan relations. More than anything, they want the assurance that we will continue on po with a strong, vibrant, and multifaceted relationship that we have always had. And I'm sure, sir, that they will not be disappointed. So we look forward to a successful visit here in Japan. Salamat po, Mr. President.